Okay, I do believe that I'm on. Yes, this is extremely late in the evening or very, very early in the morning, depending on where you are. So, I am going to do a grist mill somewhere out in Pennsylvania. And I'm going to do the trees and the sky and the grass. We'll save the mill for later. Sonia, it is well past your bedtime. Okay, I did the mill as close to as possible. What I did was I screen captured the mill off of Sonia's video, as a matter of fact, and I did print off a sheet. It was too small, so what I did was I go into Microsoft Word, I believe, and I took the picture, I cropped it twice just to blow up the image of the mill a little bit. So I did it in a half, and then I put the two halves together, and I printed out another larger copy of it, put it on cellophane, and traced it out so I can always use it again and again. And I have the one of the printouts right above. You're not going to see it, it's just off camera, and it's just to get the details and wood paneling and everything, but I'll deal with that when I do the actual thanks, Dad. Do the actual painting of the mill itself. So we're just gonna take this cobbled mess down here and do clouds and trees, and it'll be the deciduous trees. I'll try to keep as true to the painting or to the photo as I can. Now the photo is in black and white. Okay, but the colors are, obviously wood brown, and then they got the kind of whitish brick on the bottom of it. Okay, but once again, we'll tackle this as we do. This won't be a very long stream. I know it's very late and all that good stuff. So let me fabricate some clouds. Because of the extreme perspective, and I'm glad you're on, Sonia. I want to talk to you about the. Oh crap! Before I talk to you about anything, I have to. I have the TV on. It's real low, but I have to change the channel. I was gonna bring the remote in here, but I gotta bring it right back to the. I'll be back. It's the Disney Channel, so I was watching Werewolf at Night by Night or something like that, and I really don't want to watch the Moon Knight. It sucks. Yeah, I couldn't get into Moon Knight. I've watched it. I streamed it, but it's just didn't appeal to me. It was like a whole season of some guy going through some psychotic episode or something. I don't know, it just didn't work. Hey Bill, what's going on, man? Nah, I won't do that. I know what it looked like. Like I say, wood brown. It's got the white bottom. It doesn't have trees all around it. That's where I fabricated all this. It's just light marker, but I can change that all around if I choose to do so. Who knows? Who knows? But what I am going to do is I'm going to paint the clouds right through the trees. So when I put the trees in, you get a little bit of the cloud work in between, the trees and all of that. Like I said, this won't take too long. It'd be a quick little thing. I got a little bit of glycerin to be wet on dry. I did not pre-wet the watercolor paper, but it's double watercolor paper glued together. So it'll prevent all that folding and stuff. So, okay, well, off we go. I want the clouds to go in a certain direction. We'll mess it a little bit with this this blue. The trouble is trying to find a spot, right? We'll try for a little bit of this, a little darker blue. Get some glycerin. We'll put the glycerin in there. And so what I'll do is I'll draw the negative spaces, meaning that if I have an extremely cloudy sky, I'll put the blue in between it, and then we'll work it from there. Now, the reason why I'm doing the glycerin thing, okay, is that it will blend a little easier. And once again, I'll put this in the tree line and everything. And to get a sense of direction also, you see the angle. I'll paint past the tape, past the tree line and all of that. I'll dip into the glycerin often because, once again, it's just to keep it wet enough so I can blend the white. And yes, I'll paint right on top of the house. I'll keep everything going in this direction. As long as you got it going at a certain angle, okay, your eye will follow it. And I'll paint on top of the building like it doesn't even exist. I'm working with, now there's a little bit of black in this blue. We're going to utilize some of that too. Okay. Once again, I'll just keep the patterns going. All in the tree line. Trust me, it helps. It helps out to keep the flow of the painting going. Hello, Rosemary. How are you? Oh, yeah. Not questions. I was going to talk about. I'm glad you reminded me. 'Cause I totally forgot. It's perspective. That perspective thing. That pesky perspective deal. Okay. Let's have this connect right in here. Okay, that perspective thing that's happening here with this. If you look at the building itself, you'll see that it's at a slightly downward angle. Okay, so if you notice the lines, usually the lines are at 90 degrees in a perspective shot. These are not at 90 degrees. The perspective has changed. You're looking at it at a worm's eye view. That means you're closer to the ground than you are to like the midpoint of the door or like, something like that. So it's like someone's taking a picture kneeling on the ground looking upward. That's what this picture looks like. So you have a 3-point perspective shot. Obviously, if you look at the line, it's going to one perspective angle. If you look at the line or the windows, they're going to another perspective angle. But because of the slightly altered 90-degree line or the vertical lines, if you notice, they're tilted in like this. So they're going at a vanishing point upward. So these two lines will eventually meet way past my board. Okay. And your horizon line really is down here somewhere. It's not here. Okay, it's down below the building, which gives you that perspective. If I wanted to, I can actually show you exactly where the perspective lines meet on this board because it's not too far away from the edges of the board. But up above, meeting up this way, it's going to be way past the board. So this is a slightly obscure but accepted third degree angle. Because if you try to do a third degree angle closer to your subject, it's going to look really warped and really disturbing looking, even though it would be true. But nobody really looks at a building at such an extreme angle like that. But that's what's happening here. But it's at a pretty much acceptable angle. So, it's all good. Okay, let's take a little bit of glycerin. We'll take a little bit of white. The white's probably being contaminated with a little bit of gray, but that's all right. A little gray blue. That's all right. That's cool. Right where it's white at, or it would be white. Now that's a little bit maybe too gray, but that's all right. We're going to work that in. We're going to work that in. So it's going to make for a very interesting sky. So I kind of like where this is going. And the reason why, and we're going to still continue with that angle. Now the reason why I didn't stop and I can continue with this color is because I can add the white onto this. Okay, and we just blend it into the to the blue. Okay, marry it together right into that blue. Go at the same angle though. Continue to move at that angle, and you see things are going to get really interesting with the cloud formations here. Just keep it at that same angle. And we'll go with total white soon enough. I didn't put any or much glycerin into the white because I'm really just scumbling away with this. And pour it into the blue a little bit, blue mix. So you pretty much just kind of join them both together. I'll get a little bit of glycerin, we'll mix it in there. I think once again the glycerin just keeps it a little pliable. And let's say if you did something and it wasn't really, see how this is a little bit darker, and it's okay, it can work for you than against you. Glycerin, once again, it makes it a little transparent also. So that's cool. Nothing wrong with that. Actually helps you out. And it doesn't necessarily have to be. I mean, it's cool if you want it to look like the actual picture itself. Up to you. My main thing is really the building itself. And I'll go down past the tree line because now you can recreate the tree line any way you want if you choose to, to do so. All right, I'm gonna clean the brush. No, it is a great photo. It really intrigued me. I really liked it. Okay, we'll go with straight white. Okay, and we're gonna blend this white in to the other colors. Marry it right in there. Now white obviously is very transparent. So any ills you may have, you can just once again cover it over. But I'm gonna go straight, still with the angles. Keep the angles in there. And you'll see what this looks like when I put the trees in. And don't have no fear of painting right into your mast. I think Sonia made a joke about all that tape. There's a few ways you can do your painting when you're painting buildings. Masking for me is what I personally prefer because it depends on how much detail, how stylized you want your structure to be. It's truly up to you. Maybe you want to add a little more flair to it or make it a little more abstract. Truly up to you on how much of it you want. As you can see, with just pure white, it's extremely opaque. The grain of the watercolor paper also helps a lot. So it gives you a little bit of texture. And once again, I'm just keeping still with that flow of going in this angled direction. If I want something a little, obviously a little whiter, I'll just use really just straight white and don't try to blend as much. Still keep with the angles of it. Tighten up some things here, clean it up. See, it all depends on what you're looking for, what you want. As long as I got it going in a certain direction, you know, we're good. And I'm doing it on purpose to go at a certain angle, certain degree, because it juxtaposes the angle of the building itself. So when you got two angles going in different directions, it gives you automatic movement without trying so hard. It's already there for you. So it's kind of the psychology of art. Okay. Okie dokie. That's pretty cool. There's enough stuff going on in there, like for that. Let's take a slightly larger brush and we'll at least block in the grass. How many truckloads of tape? About 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 strips of 2-inch wide tape. Probably about 10 inches each strip there going across. I started right at the tippy top, and then I just overlap slightly, keep going down and down and down. Take I had used a pretty sharp X-Acto knife and just cut around what I wanted to cut around. And then that's it. You slowly pull it apart, press this down, and there you go. Really. Okay, let's take a little bit of black. We'll put it right here, right in this yellow. We'll make a deeper green. Black and yellow does make green, as you can see. Okay. Now, will this be enough green? I highly doubt it, but it's all right. We can improvise. I'll use a little bit of that. Put it in there. Get some glycerin. All right. And I'm just blocking in where the grass more or less would be, which is in here. Once again, I'll just block it in. I don't have to have the grass perfectly cropped or anything. It's just blocking in this stuff. And I'll use the glycerin pretty sparingly here. Doesn't have to be perfect. I'm gonna end up using more yellow. I got enough black on this tray to last about 3 lifetimes. Get a nice chunk of yellow and just make some more. Look at this. It's pretty much it's making an olive green. Nice deep green there. Okay, we'll put it in there like that. Get a little touch of black. Put it right in there. The darker the grass you want, the more black you add. It makes it in there. Let's see what this looks like. Yeah, like I say, it's got glycerin in it. That'll work. Now, it has a little glycerin, very little glycerin, but it does have glycerin in it. I could probably have that a little darker. So I'll add a little more black and push it in there. And then you build up your grass textures a little bit later on when it dries up. What up in here? If you got any more questions, just type them in there. I'll answer them while I'm doing this. It's not like you can really mess up. It's almost, like kind of get some of that out of there. Flowing by numbers. So here you can kind of put in a little land mass back there. How high you want it, really up to you. It's your bag, up to you where you want all of that. Okay, all right. So that's done. I'll let that tack up and do what it do. What it do. Clean off the brush, and we'll start playing with these trees here. At least the general shape of them. All right, I will probably move this so I have a little room to mix whatever color I want for the I'll use the glass here for that. Let's get let's get all the yellow. Put the yellow right there. And let's get some black. All right, and we're gonna mix this right here. Now, I'm a lefty, so that's backwards. I have to go opposite here. Mix it in. As you see, the more you mix it, obviously the more green it's going to become. I enjoy mixing colors, and I enjoy showing people what it looks like when you mix them, because some people will be like, no, you can't mix black with a yellow, the darkest and one of the lightest colors, and it makes green. Well, here you go. Okay, there's certain browns you can mix with blue, it'll make green, because certain browns have certain browns have red in it, certain browns have green in it. And all you gotta do is add an opposite, and there you go. Okay, let's put this right on top of here for 1 second. The surefire way to make nice, convincing looking trees is get a sponge that looks something like that. Okay. Okay, and I'm gonna just block in some trees. Let's see how high I want to go with them and how far I want to take it. I usually would wet this, but not today. Okay, once again, just block in very interesting shapes for your trees. And I really want to look at the tops here. Okay. I'll bring it down a little bit. It gets a little thicker down in here. Okay. Then I'll bring some up above the roof area there like that. Make it disappear a little. We'll bring it here. And I really want interesting looking tops. I don't have to press too hard. A nice little, see. Bring some of those, there we go. And we'll come up here, we'll bring it right up here like that. And then I'll just pat them away down in here. As long as I got enough, a little bit of sky color going through there, then we can build up from that. I still want, even though I'm blocking it all in like this, I still want some interesting looking textural things happening there. Bring it as close as you can down below where the land is. It's all right. If you don't get it all, it's okay. more solid, of course. But I still want that weird patchiness to it. Down below here, we'll make it completely dark. No glycerin or anything, it's just the paint, so it's going to dry. And now that I've established this color, you can now, up to you, you want to put in branches, whatever you want to put. So when you put the next preceding color on, okay, it'll look more natural. All right, so it depends on what stage you want to put the branches in there. Not really too many branches in this photo, not too many. Okay, so you can pretty much do your own interpretation of that. All right, the most important thing to me really is, now for the sake of the photograph, I'll keep it pretty much somewhat close to the scenery. Okay, but I can take this mill and really put it in any scenery I want. I can have an ocean back there or whatnot, but obviously it won't be true to the photograph. So I'm gonna keep it somewhat pretty close to the photo. I don't think I'll put the tables in there. But then again, I may surprise you. Who knows? All depends. Okay. All right. Now, I can use the sponge for highlights and things of that nature, but I think I'm gonna just go with a brush of some sort to get a little more interesting detail than just to use the sponge. Okay. All right. Let's utilize the green that's already on here. We're gonna go back down here. So once again, this is a very late stream. I used to do streams like this on the regular, which is truly not normal, but I did. I'm kind of a night owl. I might get a little bit of white and yellow. We'll mix it into this. We'll lighten it up a bit. I don't think I'll need any glycerin. I just want to mix a lighter green color. Once again, it's not really radioactive, super bright green or anything like that. Nah, I'll keep it like that. Okay, let's take. I don't think I want to take a fan brush. Let's take a slightly beat down brush like this. All right. And we'll get a nice little, put it right in the bristles there, tap it in there. And I'll come down below here. Let's see what we got here. I'll just do some light taps. Yeah, that's cool. This'll work. As you see, I don't want it to be super bright. I'll keep some of that olive green in there. Just dip some more in there. And I do them in little patches, just to keep some of that underneath color going. And we'll go a little bit lighter when I'm done messing around in here. Now obviously I'm keeping it fairly close to its original color. Kind of the plan stand to why I'm doing that. And it will pretty much stay this odd dulled out color. Okay, the reason why I'm using such dulled out colors is in life, believe it or not, things aren't as vibrant as you would think. They're usually pretty dulled out. True colors straight out of the tube. Of course, you guys don't see that too much unless I slide it over a little bit here. In real life, it's not as vibrant as you think. It's just juxtaposed to like bright flowers or brand new leaves, which are a little shinier. So anything that might be represented as dull comes out a little bit brighter. Once again, it's that optical illusion deal that I occasionally talk about. All right. So whatever brush you use, if you're using it for grass or bushes or whatnot, look at the pattern, especially when you bunch them and group them up together. Look at the patterns they present and they produce. Okay. I'm gonna take a little orange. We'll put it right there in that green. A little touch of orange. And we'll get some titanium white. We'll mix it up in there. Okay. Just like that. So I'll end up with brighter grass, but not super duper, gee, let's make snow kind of grass. All right. Nobody's talking to me. Ugh, you guys just leave me hanging. Okay. Let's, the light is actually showing from here. Got me? All right, we'll come here and we'll kind of pop in some patches. We'll come down here to the front. We'll wake up some of this grass up around in this area. Okay. Especially up around the sidewalk area there. All right. Now, some of this, once again, some of the watercolor paper actually helps you with the texture. And you see I'm not really killing all of that texture in there. All right. Let's get some more of this love here. We can come over on the other side. Right up around here. Very light touch. And as I'm doing it here, heavy here toward the front area, we'll kind of keep it over here in this area. Try different angles of the brush too. We'll keep it around in here. We'll brighten it up there. All right, I'm going to go with a little touch of blue in this color. Okay, and look at the types of green that I'm getting here. Different types of blue will give you different types of grass, or different shades of green, different colors. Okay, and I'm going to come here and we're going to play around where I might want it to be a little deeper, probably around in this area here. And we'll come by the wall here and get it a little deeper. Now there's bushes here on this wall, and I'll play around with those a little bit later. Something like that up there. Okay, we'll play around with a little bit on the further wall on this side, and it helps you bring out the other grasses a little more. But we add a little shadow there. Not too far in there. Okay, looks a little more natural because it's dulled out quite a bit. All right, okie dokie. Hey, trusted cultivator, how are you? Thank you. I get told that quite often. My voice is the perfect voice to put people to sleep. We'll come back here and add some of this bluish green a little bit back there. Okay, I can take the same brush and we can add different types of colors of foliage to this. So let's take some more of what I barely have. Let's take a little bit of light green. It's got some red in it. Sorry. Take a little bit of blue. Put that in there. We'll stir that up real quick. Now you got another variety of green here. But I want to deepen it, so we'll add black to it. We'll gray it out a little. Okay. I'll intentionally keep the paint a little tacky. I'm going to take my palette knife because I got it spread out here. We'll just gather it and we'll just put it right there. And we'll work some magic with these. Okay. And once again, it's just a textural thing. And we'll just come here. And you'll barely see it. I'm not going to get rid of all that black. We'll keep it in there. And just, when I do the taps, I'm doing them in certain groupings. Okay. So I'm grouping them on purpose. All right. We'll come here. We'll like pop a couple in there. I'm going a little slower, a little more intentional. And we'll put some in here like this. We'll come up here and get a nice little pattern, just like that. Now you got a wall here. Let's get some more. Now the paint's thick and it's tacky. And I'll keep on tapping around here, playing around until I fill it up to where it's kind of cool. All right. Now that I've got these done, okay, let's clean off the brush. Let's take a little bit of red for that brown. Let's put this brush up. Oh, we'll tap in a little bit of red here. So you're taking two color opposites. If I have enough green, it doesn't look like I do. Let's see what I can do here. I don't think I got too much yellow left. The paint's still somewhat. Put a little blue in that. Keep stirring it up. The blue and green are color opposites, so as you can see, they cancel each other out. It turns brown. Okay. All right. Okie dokie then. We'll take, I'll just take one of these. Let's put this somewhere else. We might have to dip into the water a little bit. We'll see. I'll just take a very small flat brush. Okay. We'll throw in a few branches. Yeah, a few branches in here like this. We'll put one in here. Come out that way. Maybe something coming this way. As you can see, you can barely see them. All right, so what I'll do, just for the sake of this painting and you guys, I'll lighten it up a little bit. Okay. So a lot of things I'll do for the camera, because you guys do not see that, not very well. And I'll just slowly go back over what I just done. I'll lighten that up a little bit. You'd be surprised how much white you would need. They're not really, these tree trunks aren't really, seen that well. Not in the picture anyway. But we'll do something like this. We'll curve one around. We'll kind of place one here. Put some slender ones in there like this. See, we're by the wall. We'll put a slightly thicker one here. It kind of disappears like that. It's your world. Do what you feel. Okay. So we have a few of those hanging around. Okay. All right. The cone is silent. Everybody's quiet. Let's take I don't know if I can get away with this. We're gonna try. It's more red in in this brown, so we'll see what happens. Usually if you put enough blue in it, it'll start turning kind of greenish. Usually, but this one has more red in it, so it's not going to happen. It just dulls up the blue, but that's a good thing. That's fine. That is a-okay if it looks like that. I'm going to show you why in about 30 seconds. I'm going to show you why. Because even though it looks like that, it's a grayed out blue, okay? Which, interesting enough, makes a great rainy day scene. That color blue. We're going to take some yellow. And it's going to turn a dullish green once I put that in there. I primarily like to mix with a palette knife. Now, it also depends on how much yellow you put in it too. But as you can see, just keep mixing it, okay? And you see how quickly the color changes. Okay, this is cool. We'll use that. Okay. Let's do something different today. I'm going to take yonder slender brush. I'll zoom in the camera a little bit here, like that. Let's turn the camera over here for a minute. Just touch the screen here. Put it back in focus for you. Okay. Once again, the sunlight is coming in this direction. All right, so think about that when you do your highlights. All right, we're going to go into some water. We'll use this here. Get it to an inky consistency. As you see, it's pretty runny. All right, especially if you're doing leaves in this fact, and you don't really see me doing leaves, deciduous tree leaves like this, but you can. Let's pretend you're writing cursive, but you don't quite have it right down pat yet. And that's how you're going to approach this. No, it's not light enough. I can tell instantly it's not light enough. All right, so what we need is a wee bit of white. I do have some white on this little tray here, so we're gonna mix that in real fast. Right in there. We're just gonna take a chunk and mix it in. It has to be a little lighter. Now with acrylic paint, keep in mind, I use heavy body acrylic paint. It reminds me of the oil paint I used to deal with. And Sonia, I did not forget about the oil painting. I'd have to change a lot of things around because my whole setup here is geared towards acrylic paint. And plus, I don't have anywhere to store it. I'm gonna have to create a spot somewhere. Go back into water. And let's loosen it up. That should be light enough for me to do what I need to do here. Okay. As you can see from that color to this color here, you can see the two differences there. All right. Okay. Once again, let's pretend we're learning how to do cursive writing, but we just don't have it quite right. And that's how we're going to approach it. You just come here and you just do little wiggle lines, and we're going to do these in patches. Okay, just like so. And do them in groupings. Get more, twirl your brush around, and you're just going to do little curly, swiggly things in there. And it's still not quite bright enough, but it's all right. We're going to work with that. And you're going to keep those little squiggles. Okay. And I still do them in groupings. And I strategically put them down below some of the tree trunks. Once again, it's like your cursive you're trying to write in cursive. I'm using the very tip of the brush. You can even tap if you would like. Okay, up to you how you want to do it. And what I'm doing also is doing dark, medium, and then the highlight. So if you approach this painting or any painting in those stages, okay, you'll be well on your way. Once again, I'm not going to get rid of all of that dark. And once I put the highlights on, obviously I won't get rid of all of the medium. Okay, you need all three. Okay, it is something I really don't talk about too much when I'm painting it, because I just assume that you would know it already by the 500 videos I got on this channel. But sometimes I just got to do a refresher. Okay, over here. Yeah, you guys can see. Well, here, let's do this, because I have a tendency to forget. Let's slide up here and let's go up top. Now, let's just slide the whole thing over here. Bring it right there. Okay, that should be good enough for you. All right, and we'll continue right on right up in here. Once again, it's that little cursive writing thing, you know, tip of the brush. And you just do interesting little groupings of color, like so. Come back, roll it in. Just take it and just roll it. Did everybody go to sleep? Nobody's commenting. Then again, it's going on 1 in the morning, so I can understand why if you're not commenting. And just think about it. I used to do a whole bunch of videos at this time of night. Sickening, I know. You figure I would know better. I'm gonna bring this right across. Get a little bit more water. Go into the heavier paint, just drag it outward. Roll your brush around. All right. Doing paintings like this with this tiny brush and these little squiggles makes it look a whole lot more detailed. Also, people tend to like that. You know. Oh, in case you're wondering, how much did it cost for me to send that big painting, the one that was 36 by 24? It was on canvas, and it really didn't weigh that much. But that's not what they're charging. They're charging for the unusual size of the canvas, and it was an unusual size. That one cost me $33 to mail out today. The other painting, which was 16 by 18, that's the one that Lisa, or is it Linda? Linda, the one that Linda won. That was like, I don't know, $16, $15. Once again, it wasn't the weight, because it weighs nothing. It was actually the, because it's kind of bulky. So, once again, squiggles. You group them. If you can't do the squiggles, just tap your brush. And you got to understand, this is a script liner brush, so you're going to get your little, what I call incidentals, meaning that you can guide your brush, but you don't know what the hell it's going to do. You know, you mean for it to go right, it just goes suddenly left. Oh, with acrylic paint, whether you put water in it or not, or whatever mixing medium you have, okay, acrylic paint dries darker than when you put it on. Watercolor, excuse me, yes, acrylic paint dries darker when you put it on. Okay, this is the nature of the beast with acrylics. Watercolor goes the opposite. It dries lighter. It applies darker. It dries lighter, and you're working with the color of the paper with watercolor. Okay, it's just the way that watercolor is made. All right. So it works in the opposite. And when you approach watercolor, you almost have to paint backwards. So there's a different mindset with watercolor. And depending on what effect you're looking for with watercolor. All right. Because how much water you put on with the paint gives you that, gives you a different effect. And it's not really the best practice to paint watercolor vertically. Because obviously with water, water goes to its lowest point. And if you got a painting that's vertical, where do you think all that water is going to go? Downward. It's not meaning that you cannot paint vertical, but just know what it's going to do when you do that. As long as you get an understanding of what your medium, the limitations of your medium, then you can work around that and do whatever painting you would like to do. Okay. And as you see, I'm doing, once again, these really different. Is there a quicker way to do these? Sure is. Yes. But once again, it all depends on what detail are you looking for, how much detail. But then again, doing it this way looks a lot more natural. It takes a little more time, but look at the results you get. Okay. So once again, it's really up to you. How detailed do you want this to be? How do you want it to look? Okay. All right. When it goes to highlighting your greens, you can either add more yellow to what I have here, or you add a little touch of white to it. If you add white, it tends to kind of look like snow, so be careful. Now if you add white and yellow, you may get a more positive result. So I'll add a little bit of white, add a little yellow to that white. Okay, then you bring some of that green into it. The brighter the highlight, the less of it you need also. Keep that in mind. Now I want to show you something. I added a little bit of white and yellow to this. We get this. Let's get this out of there. Let's put it right next to it. Then we'll take the original color. We'll put it right next to it. So those are the three shades of the same color. Okay, there's the color. There's the color. And there's the color. Okay. Hey, Tasmart, how are you? Let me see, it's Tamsart, I'm sorry. I'll look at it closely. It's Tamsart, how are you? You like taking photos of my misting? Okay. Yeah, those types of early morning, early sunrise paintings where the mist kind of caresses the mountains, hills, wherever you are, yeah, they look great. If you're a photographer, yeah. It's always good to have a camera handy. I'm old school. I'm saying camera, but I mean, you got some phones that are just amazing. All right, let's go over here. I forgot that this movie was only an hour long. Okay. Think of where the light source is coming from. Okay. And so I'll just kind of play around where I think that light source is. Now your bunching will be smaller, a little bit more localized. Because I'm aiming really for where the light source is happening at. And I'm really working with the tip of the brush here. I'll come around over here a little bit, come downward. I'll come around here. I know it looks like I don't know what the heck I'm doing, but give it a shot. Give it a shot. let's go over here. I guess I can put some of that bright stuff up top on that other one before I move it. Wrap around in here somewhere. Up around there, and then just leave it alone. All right. Okay, let's go back to this spot right here. Use this as an example. We do it right from this corner. You have a corner here. We'll come out here, put the bulk of that color right around in here, and then we'll have some trickle out that way. But once again, then we'll curve one right in here. Just okay, like that, and put a couple of them over here, a couple of stragglers over there, like that. Because you're paying attention to where this flat part of the house is. And once again, you're going to do it again. Right behind the dark area there. And we'll kind of straggle some this way. Come down. Come across. Bring some over here. Maybe a nice little grouping over here. You get a grouping of them, and then you just like put a couple specks in other spots. Let's go by this wall here. So you got grouping here, skip it, go over here, come around. I have it come this way, and go in a little circle there, go past the other one, and then come out this way. Just like that. Turn and brush around. All right. Here, let's go here. You'll start to see the patterns. You'll start to see where to put some of these. Let's put something going across here, right across that dark area there. As long as you group it, and then you kind of bring out some of those little stragglies in there. Just group some here. You can always tell when you start to run out of paint too. All right. Put some over here. And we'll cover up some of that bark there. Bring it that way. Put a couple of them in here, right toward the bottom here. Get some more paint. I'm dipping into that thicker paint. Okay. Then I'll use the tip of the brush. And we'll kind of pop them in there. We'll come up here and bring a batch right up in here. All up in here. Make it a little circular. Just like that. And we'll come out a little bit around here. Put little straggles over there. All right. No problem, Tamzard. I appreciate you stopping by. I know it's pretty late. I appreciate it. I'm not too far from being done for tonight, because I was only going to just do the trees and the grass. But I appreciate you stopping by. Let's go and get something going across in here. Once again, I appreciate people that are stopping by and signing in and saying, hey, I know it's late. I understand that. Heck, it's going on 1:30 in the morning. Are you kidding me? I'm pretty sure that later on today we'll work on the house or the mill, which might take a little longer than what I'm doing now, to be honest with you, depending on how much detail I want to put into it. Okay, all right. we'll stop messing with that. Let's go to the we're going to go back to that grass. We'll take the color that I already played with. Let's take the medium color first. So let me just bring this downward. Let's hit down, not up. Let's go over here. Right around there. Okay, we'll take some of this medium stuff and we'll bring it nice little transition in between the dark. A line in there like this. Get some more of that medium grass there, medium color. Yeah, we'll make little transitions here. I'm really putting it in between where the darker grass is. Actually, I'm gonna come over on the other side because I don't need too much of it right up in here. All right, let's get some more of that medium color, and we'll put it in between the darker patches there. Put it right in there, and it shows off a little more of the lighter area of the grass. And we'll use a little bit of that medium right in here. And it kind of presents an interesting shadow look to it. All right. Let's take some of the lighter stuff. Remember, if you do have lighter grass, or you want to create lighter grass, don't put too much of it on. So, in spots. Okay. And what you do, you slightly blend it in to your darker areas and you go out from there. I'm not going to kill all of, oh, you don't see it because I'm on the other one. Usually that happens because I'm not really thinking. My bad. Okay. Once again, interesting little groupings. Don't make them look fabricated. Okay. Melt some of this into the darker areas. You don't have to overdo it. Like that. All right, now we can turn it over here. Just tap in a little more of that color. Bye-bye, Tam's art. Here we go. Bye-bye. I appreciate you. So we'll go right from here. And very lightly, right in that dark area there. And you come outward. Bring only a few little stipples in the other area. I think we're good without going too crazy. I think I like this. We'll bring some out here. But that's about it for that. I want to show you something before we call it a day or an evening. Okay, that pathway there. I'm not going to use obviously a brush this size, but to kind of give your grass a little bit of height. Okay, we'll use the small guy. So you want to give your grass a little bit of height. It's going to have to be a little dark on one side here, or on this side here. We want to give a little bit of depth of giving the grass once again a little bit of height. We'll go with this dark green. I'll just added black in it. Okay. And since it's covered with tape, you can go right on the tape. We'll go here. And I'll just do a couple little bounces. It's best to go right from the tape and then do it. Because when you peel the tape off, obviously it's not going to look like it's not gonna look that crazy. And then as I come around, I'll just tap it, little taps there. Okay. Oh, where are we? Right here. Right about here where this turn is, you do the same thing. And you don't need a big blotch of it. Just, that's why I'm going on the tape here. Okay. And I can correct that if I don't have it right. No biggie. This get a nice sharp point here, or a nice edge. Right here in this grass line. I'm going right from the tape, and I'll just come downward, right from the top of the tape, to where I assume the edge of the tape is. Just like so. Alright. I don't necessarily, you don't see what I just did. Of course not, because I'm not thinking. But just over there. Alright. I don't have to add too much of that here. Not too much, because there's a large bush over there. So, I can continuously do it. I'll show you here. Not that I got it the right distance. Right from the tape. Go from the tape and go downward. Where you can see it just caress the bottom of the grass there. Sometimes it'll touch it, sometimes it will not. I know what the tape is, you might not, but just like that. All right, so we just continue it just like there was no bush there, but there's going to be one there. Okay. All right. You don't necessarily have to do it here. Okay, it's pretty much kind of cut there, so there's no shadow there. All right, we're going to pull this back. I'm going to get rid of that I'm going to get rid of this. Let's get rid of that. All right, maybe that should be wide enough. I got to stop grabbing it by that light. I'm really going to be in trouble. Actually, that is probably good enough right where it is. Let's put the focus on it there. It'll stop shaking in a second. All right. So, what we have so far, obviously, you got your trees and stuff going on here. Okay. Around here, you know where the light source is. And they're not Christmas tree bright, doesn't need to be. And also, once it dries, and it's all dry. Okay, it's all dry. It dies down the intensity. You got me. So we're good. All right. Same thing with the grass. Okay, it's dry. All right, you kind of got the intensity. Tomorrow I'll look at it with fresh eyes and see if it needs anything else. I highly doubt it. I think what I have here is what's done is done. Okay. Since I will be more or less tackling the house tomorrow, or the mill, so I'll be tackling the mill tomorrow. I could probably remove the tape now. I really don't need it, but I will remove the tape tomorrow, and we'll go right from there. But I'll probably take a picture of this for the next thumbnail. All right, guys. I appreciate you. Thank you very much. I shall see you guys when I see you. And until next time, be safe.